Hey, everybody. Melinda Russell here with Let's Talk Racing Live. My co host decided to show up tonight. I know he's a busy guy, but I got to give him trouble. Brett Timmerman. Brett comes to us from his office, which is looks like the garage in Wapello, Iowa. I'm sitting in my office in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And I don't normally have somebody sitting next to me because most of the people we interview are not from here in Kalamazoo. But tonight we've got my very favorite driver, my very special guest, my granddaughter, Madi Snyder. If you haven't heard me talk about Maddie, then this must be the first time you've ever listened to me on a podcast because I talk about her all the time. But I decided I wanted her to get on and kind of tell people about her racing through her eyes. And so we're going to interview her tonight. If you want to get on and watch, you can also, pull the comments up and if she can answer some questions. And then, of course, it's always recorded and you can share it and listen to it again or at your convenience. So, Maddie, I know a lot about you.
Yeah.
I've been here since the day you were born, but I want you to, we're going to pretend I don't really know you that well. And so I want you to start by telling everybody a little bit about yourself, where you live, your family, that kind of thing.
Okay. So I'm 18. I went to Gull Lake High School here in Richland, Michigan. I just graduated about a month ago. Now I'm going to be starting college in the spring at KVCC. And then I have two siblings, a sister and a brother, Andrew and McKenna. My sister's 20 and my brother, he's 29. And my mom, Brandy Snyder, and my dad, Bob Snyder. And kind of like what inspired me to start racing is I want to encourage people that are struggling with addiction and mental health to get help and know that Landmark is there to help them and help people, and no one will judge, and just people want to help you. So, and just mental health and addiction just needs to be talked about a lot more. So I just want to encourage people.
So Maddie got a new sponsor this year, Landmark Recovery. We have some connections with that company, but we'll kind of leave that private. We don't necessarily need to share that part. But, they have a facility in Battle Creek, Michigan, and they have facilities all over the country. And so, you know, recovery is an important subject to talk about. Mental health is an important subject, and suicide. And so we want people to go to these facilities and get help and not result in a suicide, which our family had to go through.
Yep.
And we don't want anybody to go through that. So it's a really good fit for Maddie to have them as a sponsor on her car. And we'll find out a little bit more about them as we go on. So Maddie, when you were in high school and even younger, what did the kids did they know you were a race car driver? Did they give you a hard time? Did they really not talk about it very much, or?
So there was a few people that knew I raced. I mean, especially people on like my Instagram, they knew because I would post about it. But they more thought it was like a redneck thing, so not very. I would say, which I think it's like one of the most like expensive sports out there. So I don't know. I just think people don't realize how much time and effort and like ambition that like you have to put into it and dedication to actually do it. But and I didn't really I don't know, like I didn't really talk about it that much. But when I did, it wasn't, I couldn't really relate to anyone just because they don't really know what I'm talking about or and stuff.
And people think it's NASCAR. Oh, is it like NASCAR?
Yeah.
Well, what Maddie races is probably more like NASCAR than what Adriana races, or, sprint cars or drag racing. But a lot of people don't really understand. And a lot of people don't even know we're lucky. We've got Galesburg, 20 minutes away from us. We've got Kalamazoo, a different direction. But a lot of people don't even know those tracks are here, and they live right here in the community. So they don't really get racing.
Yep.
And especially a young girl, in high school, middle school, she started, we'll talk about that in a minute, how she got started, excuse me. But we need to spread the word about that too. Go
It's
ahead.
a lot easier for us because we're in redneck country. So like it's nonstop dirt racing everywhere. So everywhere you run into, somebody knows you or talks about racing. Like
Yeah.
it's easy for us. But I can't imagine like somebody like you guys, you know, out in asphalt country, you know, there ain't very many asphalt tracks. So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So, so Maddie, you're going to go to college, and you're probably going to work too while you're doing that, which is cool. Karen Waters Thomas, she's a good friend of mine. She says, "Hi, Melinda." Karen, I'm glad to see that you're listening in tonight on the show. So, Maddie, let's start with, how did you get started in racing?
So I first got into racing from, I started watching me and my family, my uncle at Kalamazoo Speedway, and we always enjoyed going every weekend and to support him. We always loved the autograph nights. That was like at least my favorite. But one day he convinced my dad to go to the little track, which is right next to Kalamazoo Speedway. It's called Little Kalamazoo Speedway. They do these things called trine rides, and me and my sister went, which she actually fell in love before me. She raced about 1 or 2 years before I started, and I started doing that for about, I started when I was like 8, and about 13 or 14 I took a break just because some personal stuff, and then COVID hit. I was about 15. I started a front-wheel drive. There wasn't much to do. But I always looked up from the low track, and I knew I mean, he was like, I looked up to him, so I always knew I'm going to be at the big track one day. Like, I'm going to be there. So after front-wheel drives, I decided I wanted to go faster. And
they weren't fast enough.
Nope. And so within half that year, I got a street stock, which it was just kind of like a stocky street stock. Wasn't very adjustable and stuff on it, but once we knew like this is what I wanted to do and I wanted to be better and faster, I got a new adjustable faster street stock, and that's what I'm in right now. So I've had that car for about a year and a half. So
yeah, so you know, and so I'm going to tell you a little behind the scenes. So McKenna started racing, but Maddie was the one who never had any fear. So McKenna was a little bit more cautious and, you know, deliberate about her driving, where when Maddie got in the car, it was just hell's bells, foot to the floor. How fast can I go? Who can I pass? And so that's kind of been how Maddie's always been, a little bit less fear about things. And then she's also the perfectionist. So she wants to be the best at everything she does. And so not being able to go fast enough to win was not cutting it. And so her dad finally was tired of hearing her saying, "I'm not going fast enough."
Yeah, pretty much.
So she got a different car. So so Maddie, why don't you tell us really what are your hometown tracks, and then why don't you tell us about your car, what it looks like, the number, and why you chose the number?
Okay. So my home tracks are Kalamazoo Speedway, Galesburg Speedway, and Springport Speedway. Those are about the only tracks I've really raced locally every weekend. I was supposed to race Plymouth, but due to some issues with my car, we haven't made it there yet. But that'd be really cool to go there. I'm excited. And my number, I don't really know why I chose 25, but I don't know. It really stuck with me. Now almost everything I have now 25, like in my phone and everything. It's a black car, street stock. It's covered in Landmark Recovery. That's my big sponsor. Can't thank them enough. Wouldn't be here without them, and especially my dad and all my supporters. And it's blue, or not blue. That's my old car, but it's pink, purple, has some gray on it. But it's a pretty cool car. I'm actually obsessed with it. So.
Yeah, and you can definitely pick it out from all the other cars on the track.
It definitely stands out.
You know, Brett, when you go to the racetrack, what color are the cars? Black, red, maybe some white ones with some decals. But hers is the only one that is like magenta, pink, and it's almost a red color. And so anyway,
like an indigo.
we'll have to go to my Facebook page, and she's on the banner of my Facebook page with her car. It's a pretty cool color. And 25, so I don't know how that came about, but McKenna was 23.
Yep.
And then a couple friends, one was 24
Yep.
and one was 26. And
Yep.
so I think 25 was kind of left over, and so kind of stuck. So I think that might have been how that came about for sure. And so you run a street stock, right?
Yep.
In the street stock class. No other girls in your class, are there?
So far, no. There's maybe one other girl. She is actually the same age as me. She doesn't race very much. She's starting to go to college, so she kind of hasn't really been racing, but she's been at the races.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. Like, it's mostly, 20 and up to 60.
Yeah.
So in between then, it's all ages, but it's definitely crazy out there.
It's all a bunch of men.
Yeah.
You know. And
what about across the country? Is there women that race them that you've noticed?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I know some, like at Plymouth. I haven't raced there yet, but I'm pretty sure there's one other girl that's a street stock driver. But other tracks I've seen, there's other, like, even dirt, like there's dirt street stocks.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen, like, there's a girl I follow on there that she races them and she's kicking ass. So
yeah. So kind of like Taylor. I mean, Taylor Cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Maddie knows who that is, and you know she races dirt all over, and she's amazing.
Yeah.
And you know she does everything pretty much herself for sure. So most memorable moment so far in your racing career could have been when you were little, could be anything between then and now.
Can it be like good, or does it have to be
memorable? It can be good or bad.
Okay, so this is a memory. So we were kind of having problems with my quarter midget, and we kind of didn't know if it was for sure gonna work out. Well, I kind of went out there and I ended up flipping and catching on fire, and the whole motor catched on fire and everything, and that was probably like the most memorable moment. Like,
and the scary part was
scary.
Maddie didn't even know it was on fire at first. And so that was pretty memorable for all of us, actually, to see that happen, because you don't want to see your granddaughter flipping down the track and then it flames everywhere.
There's like pictures, like it was flipping while the flame was like coming out of like the motor.
Yeah.
Like there were some cool pictures of it, but it was definitely scary.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you ever practice getting out of your car like now?
Actually not really, no. I haven't
probably should.
Yeah, I probably should. Just I don't know, I've never really thought about practicing.
We do it every year at the beginning of race season. I make Adriana buckle in with her helmet on, and she has 10 seconds to get out, because 10 seconds is your fire suit. Because it don't last more than 10 seconds. So if you get out in 10 seconds, you're good. And I flip her on her side in her cart, and make her get out when it's on its side.
Yeah.
But it's a good practice to get into it.
Yeah.
At the Super Nationals race, there's a guy that has a rotary machine with a modified that flips you around upside down. You're buckled in and you're flipping, and he leaves you upside down and tells you to get out in 10 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, that's honestly a really good thing, because none of us think it's ever going to happen to Adriana or Maddie, but it could. And somebody could run, like at Galesburg, I've seen, cars smash into each other and one of them catches on fire. It could be that it's not even her fault in the driving or anything. Somebody hits you, and so you better do that now. We're gonna time her and see how quick she can get out of the car.
Oh yeah, always remember. I don't know if you run a window net, but always remember seatbelt, steering wheel, leave the window net up, climb out wherever you can get out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, good. Karen Waters Thomas says, we do the fire escape test every year with Optima Ultimate Streetcar Invitational. So she has a bunch of women that are involved in racing with her, and so that's good to know. Brett, I think a lot of parents don't think about that. They really should have a pre-season checklist of things they should be doing. And, that's one of them. So we need to kind of get the word out a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I'd love to have that. I'd love to have that cutaway car, that modified that I was in, and just travel around as a safety, before the season. Hey, let's get your guys from your track and let's do this.
There you go. I mean, you don't have enough to do. You should probably do that next year.
Yeah, no, I need something else.
Yeah, you do need something else. So, Maddie, who helps you with your car, and are you hands-on at all?
Okay, so I am a little hands-on, mostly change tire, put gas in it, mostly just whatever kind of my dad tells me to do. Basically, it's my dad, my boyfriend Brock, and our crew chief Jesse Van Avery Jr.
Yeah.
So basically, they're my 3 people that help me. But other than it's really my dad.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be able to do this without him.
Right.
So,
yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
For sure.
Very small, but
yeah. So I know you have a couple other marketing partners besides Landmark. Landmark's the big sponsor. Do you want to mention anybody else that helps?
I have Spring Valley Motors and Mercedes R&B Hayes Mercedes-Benz. So they kind of help out, which I work there too. So it's a really good opportunity.
Yeah. They're a good supporter. And Spring Valley Motors is one of my husband's welding customers. And they actually approached us about supporting Maddie. So that's always a nice thing when they reach out. Brett, you have that happen with Adriana. Companies follow them on social media or whatever it might be, and companies reach out and want to sponsor, especially girls. Girls are getting attention, when there's only one girl in the class racing and there's 20 men, people take notice when they mention a girl's name that's on the track. And so, so that's always good.
And what helps, just to help you, Maddie, like, I don't know how much time you have in between races and stuff, but what we started doing this year with Adriana is doing a fan of the week. We just get a goodie bag put together for a boy or a girl, and Adriana walks through the grandstands, talks to every kid, signs autographs, picks the fan of the week. When you do that for one kid, everybody sees you do it, and everybody starts following you. So it's a good.
Cool,
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I'm glad you said that to her. Yeah. So Five Field 716 Racing. We have Ella is one of our Women's Motorsports Network gals, and she says, Madison, what is something you would tell a young female driver who is coming up in the sport?
I would tell them that they can do anything a man can do, a boy can do, even better than what they can do. Never to give up. Keep pushing, have the ambition, have the dedication. It all has to kind of be there, but just don't give up and just do your best, and you'll get there. So,
yeah, good advice.
Yeah.
So we know that every day at the track is not the day that we want. Sometimes we have bad days. I've been there enough to know that Maddie's had her share, not her fault, but just stuff happens.
Yeah.
How do you deal with a bad day at the racetrack?
I kind of have to take a minute, take a deep breath. But other than that, I come back stronger the next race, have a better positive attitude, and go home with a positive attitude, because otherwise it'll just kind of make your night. So, just have a good positive attitude that you're going to come back better and stronger.
And, what I've seen, and I think a lot of it, probably not just girls, but, I focus on the women. If somebody pushes Maddie around on the track, she's not going to take it. And she's going to, if they spin her out or whatever, she's going to be mad enough to come back stronger. And I think that's true of, not just her, but a lot of drivers. And so, if somebody pushes you around, you've got to have the fortitude to get back out there and say, hey, just because I'm a girl doesn't mean you can push me around. And so, for sure. So, favorite part of being a race car driver?
Probably the best part is just obviously like the little kids looking up to you, the adrenaline while you're in your car, and the nerves. But Honestly, just the feeling of being out there and being able to do something that even men can do and going that fast. So
Yeah.
it's just honestly crazy, the feelings and the emotions that you're going through while you're in the car.
Right.
So,
What's the atmosphere like at a asphalt track? Is it a family orient? Does it feel like a family or is
yes, oh definitely. It's like definitely family oriented. I mean, obviously there's drama, but with obviously Rex and stuff, but other than that, I mean, my family all is like within racing, so I'm very, very family oriented. But yeah, I would say it's definitely different at each track. I would say there's a lot, if you're good and you're fast, they don't like you. Like,
Yeah,
so
that's normal.
yes.
That's Adriana's, she has that same problem.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of a pick and choose. Like some people are kind of fake, they'll like you one day, like you the other. So it's kind of, you got to keep the close and good people close to you, and
Yeah.
I don't know, like the real people, I guess.
Right.
So
keep your friends
close,
keep your circle close,
yes,
but not not huge, because there is a lot of, I call it high school. It's you just got out of high school.
Yeah, it almost is like high
but
school.
It is kind of like high school at the racetrack, and
Yeah.
it's grown men, and it's like, oh my gosh, whatever.
So. Oh, you should see. I race around. We're at the racetrack where there's 4-year-olds racing, and the parents are yelling at each other because their 4-year-old hit their other kid. Like the 4-year-old hit the other 5-year-old. It's like they're kids that you can't yell at each other. They're kids.
Yeah, for sure. So Karen says, I'm so proud of you, Maddie. Wish I could have started at your age.
Thank you.
And then David Fisher would love to see street stocks on a road course. What's your dream racing series?
Probably, it'd probably be like NASCAR.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would probably say driving probably the truck series at first, or even ARCA. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
But definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to get somewhere where you're gonna get like
more
more noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't, for like these small local tracks, like you don't get like as much notice, like as big as other tracks.
Yeah. So Poplar Grove Speedway, not sure where that's at.
They're close to us.
They're close to you, Brett. Okay. It says we see more and more girls starting in the go-kart sport. They are very competitive at an early age. Go-karting is a great place to start for future racing events. So let's talk about that for a minute, because Adriana started in a kart. She's still in but it's a faster kart. You started in a quarter midget, which is like a kart.
Kind of, yeah.
And so, why do you think that? And we'll ask Brett and you, why do you think that is a good place to start? And at what age should they be starting? Brett, why don't you go first?
I would say that, if the age, I wish I would have been better at this too, but I raced for 20 years and didn't think about putting my kids in a race car at all. But go-karting wasn't big then. But if I would have redone it at the age of 4 years old, Adriana would have been in a go-kart at 4 years old. Because I see so many kids progress from 4 to 6. Like by the time they're 6, they're dominating the kids that are older than them, and I think starting in the go-karts teaches you a lot of fundamentals about racing, more than if you get into, you're always going to have a chance no matter what in a go-kart, like as long as you get everything right. And racing in a big car, if you start them in a big car, you're going to get more frustrated because the guys that are in there have been racing for 20 years and have everything they need.
Right. You couldn't begin to have Maddie start even in a front wheel drive or a street stock, because some of those men are 50, 60 years old and they've been racing for 30 years.
Yeah.
That's putting your kid in a dangerous position.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so, when you say that, of course, we have a very good example here. Carson Hosevar started when he was little.
Yeah.
And look where he's at. And so, Maddie raced against him at Little Kalamazoo Speedway. His mom, kind of ran that track. And so, I think, the younger you are, the better. What do you think?
I agree. I'd say like probably start 5, 6, just because I don't know. Just sometimes, as young as you are, the reactant time like just isn't there sometimes.
Right.
But I feel like it's different for every kid. But I definitely think starting young would be the best. Just that way, the more you're gaining, because in quarter midgets at least, I don't know about, obviously it's probably the same for carts, but you probably gain a class like faster and faster and faster.
Mm-hmm.
For ours, it's almost like weight. You gain weight and you get faster. So I feel like, I don't know, the more like practice they have of getting more speed instead of just, oh, let's just hop in like a front wheel drive big car. And I mean, they go pretty, I mean, they don't go as fast as Sportsman, the street stocks, but they still go pretty fast. So, I mean, I think it's just good that you're getting the difference of speed and getting better and not just blindsided and
kind of progressing instead of just jumping in full force.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of kids, nothing against Adriana, but we've been around racing our whole life. And I started her when she was 12. 13, 14, or actually probably 13, and she didn't even know what the flags meant. Like, so, it's good for a kid to learn what the whole fundamental of it, like the flags, the why we're lining up this way. And so instead of just throwing them to the wolves, they're learning through go-karting.
Yeah, because even in quarter midgets, what I can remember when they raced, just to get them to line up and then start and then race, it just, sometimes it would just take forever. And, the younger they are, the little, maybe less they understand what is happening. But, gosh, you could sit there for a long time until those carts were together, and so, but, that's how they learn and when they're little like that, and the flags and all those things. So, yeah, you're right, Brett. So Poplar Grove Speedway says seat time is a key factor. So I agree.
I agree too. Seat time is definitely, that's the only way you're going to get better. And
yeah, for sure. So, have you done anything daring outside of racing? Like have you done sky jumping or zip lining or anything else? Are you a daredevil?
I don't know, not really. I do have a trip coming up. I do want to go on a helicopter ride in New York City.
Yeah.
So, and I do want to go like climb up the stairs on top of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that is exciting. I really would like to go skydiving. That would be definitely fun.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, I definitely have a bucket list, but I don't know. I feel like in high school, I was busy with basketball, volleyball, school, work. So
racing.
Racing, especially. I just feel like I haven't really got the chance to do all that stuff, but I mean, I have a whole life.
She's 18 whole years old, so she's got time.
Yeah.
She's got time for sure. So Maddie, what's been your biggest obstacle, like in your racing career? What was the thing that was the hardest for you to either learn or overcome?
Probably overcome is getting frustrated with myself with the car and getting used to how everything, because I mean, even at some tracks, like, I mean, we're still figuring the car out. Like, just to have a good, like, positive, keep staying positive, keeping myself up. I mean, I feel like I would get down on myself a lot. So definitely being positive, that was a struggle for me, but I've definitely gotten better with it. So I don't know, I would definitely say that.
Okay. Do you have a fan experience that you'd like to share? Do you have any special fans or?
I actually did. So this has to do with my sponsorship, kind of with the recovery and mental health. I actually had a fan reach out to me and kind of explain like her life story, and she had a family member that had passed away, and kind of wanted to relate with me. I ended up putting a mental awareness sticker on my car and a ribbon that had his name on it, just so I could promote him, and that way I could race for him also. So,
right. Very cool. So, What's your goal for your racing? Do you want to you're happy in street stocks? Because, well, one thing we need to mention is that your boyfriend races the same class.
Yeah. I really like street stocks. My goal really is this year is to get a win. My past finishes were second and third.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, one of the races I was leading almost more than half the race and slipped up one time, and he got around me and ended up finishing second. But I think I'm getting there, and I keep proceeding. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's been a fun year. So, you know, when you're only 18, and so your career, you know, you could still be racing when you're my age, honestly. But at some point, you're probably going to stop racing. What is something you want people to remember about Madi Snyder?
Just that, I mean, that I don't know, almost that I want them to like kind of remember that I racing for recovery, mental illness, and addiction, and almost that like girls can do anything that guys can do, and if I'm out here, so can they.
Right.
So, kind of just that girls can do anything that guys can.
Yeah.
And,
good answer. So, do you think you've had any unexpected benefits or challenges by being a girl in racing?
I would say definitely a challenge is racing with older men that have been racing for a while and kind of thinking that they can push girls around and that we're not gonna react back, kind of. I don't know. I mean, for the first year, I kind of let them push me around, but after that, I give them a push back, like, nope, I'm here. So kind of made it a little harder on them. But that was definitely the biggest challenge, was letting them know, like, I'm here, like, I'm not letting you push me around.
Right. So, Maddie girl, you're doing awesome. This is Morgan Reed. She's one of your biggest cheerleaders too.
Yeah.
You've come a long way. You definitely have shown the boys that you're there and you will not take anything from them. Thank you, Morgan, for listening in and for that comment. So Karen wants to know, how do you manage your time?
So I normally, since I just got out of high school, I started working kind of full time at R&B Hayes Mercedes, and I haven't really started school yet, so I haven't really had to manage work, school, and racing. But I kind of normally would do racing stuff towards the end of the night after I got out of work and on the weekends. But that's kind of how it's been so far. But
and during high school, when you were playing basketball and then you had stuff going on, but it wasn't race season.
Yeah. So I really haven't. I mean, towards the end of the year, because we still are in school in April and we start racing in April. But normally, if I knew I had a busy week with school, I would kind of get it done. Because I knew racing I'm normally there Friday, Saturday, even sometimes Sunday. So I kind of have just decided to get it done early, because sometimes Sundays are a relaxing day and I don't feel like doing it. So
at the Snyders, Sunday is family day.
Yep.
And
we do a NASCAR pool, so we all come over, watch the race together. It's a blast. Make dinner. We just enjoy our welcoming family. So
one rule that your dad has, even though he's got kids out of school, right?
Yep.
Is that Sunday's family day, and I love that rule. And they even let Mamaw come sometimes, Brett.
Yep.
So that's kind of fun too, for sure. Yep. So David Fisher says, "What? Your boyfriend wrecked you? God bless Landmark Recovery." That's funny, David. Yeah. And then this is a sweet comment. It says, "Such a sweet soul. So proud of you." That's your sister, McKenna.
Love you,
McKenna's a sweet soul as well. Yeah, for sure. She raced too.
Yeah.
She was a good racer, and she raced Sportsman, which is the step up, and she was the one. There was another, I think Taylor raced. It races Sportsman too, but McKenna didn't let anybody push her around, and she still doesn't let anybody push her around on or off the track. And so we love that about McKenna for sure.
Why'd she get out of it?
She just kind of, after she got out of high school, she ended up getting kind of a house situation, and kind of an opportunity she couldn't pass up, and kind of just had different priorities at that point. So, but she still loves coming around. I mean, I'd say she's one of my biggest supporters.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she has a jean jacket with my name and number on it, embroidered. She's there almost every weekend there supporting me. So she's definitely one of my biggest.
You know, as we know, Brett, it's not always about driving. McKenna does a lot of other things, you know, as well as the rest of Maddie's family. And, you know, I can say this because I know, but I know it's true of so many families out there that siblings don't always want to be the driver, but they still want to be involved. And so, you know, they do all kinds of things to help. And that's what McKenna and the rest of Maddie's family, they do for sure. So
these flies are making me angry.
I know. I'm going to mail you a fly swatter. I think they might sell them at Walmart though. So maybe you could go to Walmart.
It's pouring down rain. So all the flies decided to come in my shop.
It was supposed to rain here. I think it rained for maybe 5 minutes and the sun was shining while it was raining, and that's all we got. So Rhonda McLean says, "We love you, Maddie."
Me too.
Bob Snyder, we know who that is. That's Dad. He says he would love to have both his girls back racing. Yes, we would. So maybe we can convince McKenna to.
Yeah.
What was the name of her car that she loved? Henry. She named her car Henry. And she loved that car. She should have stuck with that car. They were a match made in heaven for sure. So Amanda Schuster Lockmiller, she's another good supporter of you, says you are a girl making it in a guy's sport, and you have a racing family support system behind you. Brock better watch it. He doesn't want none. No. We love you. We love Brock, but not as much as you.
Love you guys.
Oh, that's funny. So. And then she also said, McKenna Snyder, you can't sit here. That means she better get herself in a car and start racing for sure.
Yeah.
So Maddie, do you think you are a role model, or have you had a chance to be a role model to any younger drivers?
I wouldn't say exactly. I haven't had a situation where I've met a young girl or a young little girl that's been has came up to me, but I feel like there's a lot of people at the racetrack that definitely have little kids, and I mean, they see me race, so they definitely probably, I would say I'm a role model, just because there's not very many girls or young girls. So I almost think maybe not a role model to all the younger girls, but maybe to even girls my age or even adults.
Well, and like autograph night, when you're standing there next to the car.
Yep. So we haven't had that. So I mean, even last year, I would have little girls come up to me and tell me they love my car, or they want to get a picture or sign. We have shirts, which we should be having shirts made soon. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and it's funny when you're standing there, just kind of watching everything that's going on autograph night, and you hear people say, "There's the girl driver."
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Then they asked how old I am, and then at that point, I mean, I was driving street stock when I was 16, and they were like so surprised, thinking, which is crazy.
Yeah. So, how do you think you will make an impact on motorsports by being a driver? Somewhere down the road, what's your goal, kind of, to make an impact, make the sport better because you were in it?
I'd want to try to make it better, to make it more women known. Just so make it more normalized that women can race and that they can do, and obviously anything boys can do. But definitely to just influence racing, and even to race for something. I mean, race for your family, race for yourself, racing can be so many things, and if it's great if it's for a cause even. So for sure. Morgan
sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I got a challenge for you, Maddie. We're working on it too, but we're going to preschools, like in elementary, like daycares. And showing off the race car. Adriana's going to show off her race car and talk about racing, to try to get any kids, but primarily girls.
Yeah.
They don't get to see that kind of stuff because parents don't take their kids to the track. But if you get it in their head, then they might be like, "Hey, let's go to the races."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I could definitely, even at like my school, probably do that. I mean, we do like this thing, Ryan Rally, at like the intermediate. So it's like 5th grade or 3rd grade through 5th, and I mean they have like a drag race car there that come, and I mean they can sit in it and everything. So yeah, I could probably honestly do something like that.
Yeah,
even at my school.
Good idea.
It's gonna take girls to get the word out. I mean, you can talk about it all you want, but if they don't see it, they just don't. They don't get.
Well, and it's what they say: if you see her, you can be her.
Yep.
And little kids, unless somebody is involved in racing or they see it somewhere, they have no idea it exists. So that's why we have to get the word out for sure. So Morgan Reed wrote us a book, but I'm going to read it anyway because we love Morgan. It says, "We love the Snyder family. They're a wonderful family. Glad to be friends with them. They are always there and would do anything for someone. Truly glad to be close with them. Also, the girls are a huge part of my boys' lives. They truly look up to them, and the minute they see them, they're quick to run and hug. While my boys don't race yet, but definitely look up to you, Maddie and McKenna." Oh, that's sweet, Morgan. Thank you for saying that for sure. That's nice. And so, you know what? We wouldn't even probably know them if we weren't involved in racing.
No, probably not.
And so, isn't that the part that we take away and that stays with us during the week? I wouldn't have ever met Brett and his family if it wasn't for racing. And now they're like part of my family. And so, same as Morgan and Amanda and their families. And so we just don't really appreciate that enough, I don't think. The people that are, if anything happened to any of us, and when Ben passed away, it was so true. The racing family were the first people to reach out.
Yeah.
Even before some of our own family. Yeah. And so, and Brett knows that too. You have people who, when things, or you need help or anything, it's the race family that's there for you.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, we love those guys. So thanks for sharing that. We're getting close to the end. Yeah. So, social media. How do you use social media to let people know what you're doing, promote yourself, your brand, that kind of thing?
So normally on Facebook and Instagram, even Twitter, I normally post during the week where I'm going, where I'm racing, just kind of the information about it. And then I would say every Sunday, every month or Monday, I would post the results of how I did, kind of what happened, just how I reflect on how the race went. But normally kind of just post stuff of my race car.
Okay.
So
do you have a racing page, or is it just under your own personal page?
No. So I have it's Madi Snyder Racing on Facebook. I also have a Instagram, Madi Snyder Racing, Twitter, Madi Snyder Racing. I have a website on Landmark Recovery. It's Madi Snyder LandmarkRecovery.com. But that's my platform so far. But if you check them out, you'll know where I'm racing, how I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it's time to start making some cool TikToks.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, we've been trying to get like a video together, some little small videos to make a TikTok. So it's coming.
Yeah, TikTok. I'm telling you, I know there's a lot of, controversy about TikTok, but there is no better sport than racing for TikTok because of the action. And so use it smart, just like you do all your other platforms. Don't be stupid. My husband sits down at night and finds all the dog TikToks. Yeah. And was like, here, look at this. No, I don't care about the dog TikToks. But, you can get addicted to it.
I mean,
bad.
But I'm not addicted, but I could sit on there for like 1 or 2 hours scrolling.
Yeah, it can be. But what
do we need to call Landmark Recovery?
No.
I think I know a couple people there. Maybe we should call them. So oh gosh. So we got some comments here. We've got to catch up with our comments. So let's see. I think it was this one. Amanda says racing family is the family we choose, but the best family of them all.
Yes.
That should be on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
For sure. Casey Bowen Racing says, keep up the good work. Great show.
Thank you.
Karen Waters, Racers for Christ would be another source that would partner well with your cause. Be glad to share with Maddie about that. Karen's
Cool.
a great woman, so we'll connect her. Oh, Brock Gannis, what did he have to say? She's done an awesome job this year. So proud of you. She's gonna get one before the season's over. Yeah, if he doesn't wreck you, come on. That's Maddie's boyfriend, and you know what? We love Brock. We love Brock too, and we cheer for him. You know what? Right here's my signs. I made them at Christmas time, and I think they all made fun of me because I made signs to hold up at the racetrack. But I haven't seen anybody tell me to leave them at home yet. So anyway, Carrie Sargent, she's part of our family.
Yeah.
Said Andrew wants to know if there will be T-shirts available.
Yes, we're waiting on them. So
that's her brother. So I'm sure that he'll get a T-shirt if once we get them done. Gina says hi everyone. Gina Lehman and Brandy Snyder. That's Maddie's mom. She says so proud of you, as we all are. We all are proud of her. So here's our. Brett, do you have any questions for Maddie before we do the quick answer thing at the end?
No, I've been letting you do all the questions basically. So,
well, you always do, but you can jump in anytime.
No, it's fine. It's a lot easier when you ask him.
He's my co-host, but he lets me do the work. But that's fine because he sometimes asks questions that I don't really know about, especially if it's somebody in the dirt world, which I'm not as familiar with. And then I kind of let him take over because he's very knowledgeable about all that. So we do kind of take turns sometimes for sure.
I will say, Maddie, like ever since I've met Melinda, I've followed your racing, and like I watch all your updates and stuff, and I'm proud of you too. So like I want to meet your whole family one of these days.
Yeah,
that's my goal.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
You gotta come down.
Yeah, you'll have to come to one of the races, like come in the pits and stuff.
Like I travel to Michigan for work, so I'm hoping to be there during race. I can just stay for a race weekend. So
we'll find a place for you to sleep. So for sure, we'll do that. So we always do these quick answers because we want to know a little bit more about Maddie, not just about your racing. And so just answer what comes to your head. And if you don't have an answer, just say, I'll pass or pass or whatever. So what's your favorite food or restaurant?
Probably Texas Roadhouse.
Okay. Favorite beverage?
I really like an iced white chocolate mocha from Starbucks.
Okay.
I'm a coffee drinker.
You're a coffee drinker. Yeah. All right. Favorite racetrack food?
I'd probably say French fries.
Okay. Do you eat before a race?
Before, I normally don't. If we either bring food or grab something before, I normally don't eat at the track.
Yeah.
So
but probably a good thing that we don't always eat at the track. So, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite animal?
Dogs.
What's your favorite vacation destination that you've gone to, or somewhere that you want to go?
I'd want to go to Greece. So
okay. Bucket list. Yeah. She's going to New York though.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was on her bucket list too. Favorite candy or snack?
I like peanut M&Ms.
Okay. Favorite racetrack. Now this can be a 2-part answer. One that you've raced at, and the other one would be one that you would like to race at.
So I really like to race at Springport.
Yeah.
And I'd like to race at Bristol. I think that would be very cool.
Yeah.
And because I've been there, so I think it'd be definitely cool.
That'd be a fun place to go.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite movie, actor, or actress?
Movie, I would say I like Pitch Perfect.
Okay. Good movie.
I haven't watched it in a while, but that's definitely one of my favorites.
Okay. How about a favorite musician, song, or type of music?
So I really like right now, her name is, I'm not very good at pronouncing it, but SZA. Okay. So I'm actually going to see her in New York. So she's an artist, so she's really good.
And what kind of music does she sing?
I'd say like R&B kind of like rap, but not totally like rap.
Okay.
It's almost so, I don't know, it's like kind of in the middle.
Okay. So more maybe pop rap
Yeah,
instead
kind of like Taylor Swift with like a little bit of rap.
Okay.
Almost, like,
all right.
yeah.
Do you have a favorite professional race car driver?
Oh, Kyle Larson.
Okay.
My favorite.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Do you have a favorite TV or streaming show?
I really like Gossip Girl.
Okay.
Gossip Girl.
All right. Weren't you all watching Outland? What was that show all you kids were watching this last year?
Outer Banks.
Outer Banks. Oh, gosh.
That's really good too.
Yeah. Favorite thing to celebrate?
I would say either like birthdays or I feel like days that make a person feel special.
Okay. So. And favorite toy as a kid? Cars or dolls?
I was definitely a Barbie girl.
Yeah, I think you were a Barbie girl.
Definitely a Barbie girl.
She was a Barbie girl.
Yeah.
You know, that's funny. Barbie's got a movie coming out. Maybe I'll have to take Maddie to the movie. The Barbie movie. Oh gosh, crazy stuff. So that's everything that I have for you, Maddie. Brett, do you have anything else for her?
Oh no, I think we've pretty much covered a lot of it. So
yeah. You
I'm a white chocolate mocha from Starbucks guy too, but not iced.
Really? Oh, iced is so good. But you gotta get like extra caramel drizzle and sweet cold foam on top.
Oh gosh,
I'll have to try it next time.
Yes, it's so good.
I would have to write that down to remember what it was I wanted. So when I go to Starbucks, I get a large black iced tea with lots of ice. The same drink I get at McDonald's and Wendy's and anywhere else. So it's easy. But yeah, I know they have all those fancy things that you can put in it. It's crazy for sure.
Yeah.
So Maddie, anything that we haven't talked about that I just completely blew past and forgot about you or your racing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think you kind of got everything across.
All right. You know, it's so much easier, Brett. It'd be like interviewing Adriana. When you know the person, you know, it makes it so much easier to talk to them and to get their story out there. And so love all the comments and everybody that was on tonight. We really appreciate that.
Yes.
We will share the recording and we would love for you to all share the recording and follow us on Facebook, follow us. I just uploaded a whole bunch of YouTube of our interviews to our YouTube page now. So we're growing that. You know, we have a podcast that airs. It's called Women's Motorsports Network Podcast. So if you like us and follow us there, we would love for you to do that too. The only way we can promote these gals is if you help us and promote us. So we appreciate that. So
don't forget to follow Madi Snyder Racing too.
Yes, follow my page.
Follow Maddie for sure. Yeah. So we have our final comment. It's from Rita Myers Gannis. Oh, must be somebody related to Brock.
Yeah, Brock's grandma.
She's Brock's grandma. She says love our Maddie, and you know we all do too. We love our Maddie and appreciate that she came tonight and spent the night down here with me for an hour that we could share her story. So
I think Maddie wins the most comments.
I think she does too. She's had the most comments of anybody that we've had on.
Oh.
Yeah. So now I'm probably going to have to give her some kind of gift or prize or something. Brett, way to go. Thanks a lot.
Free t-shirt.
Free t-shirt. There you go. So, Brett, do you have anything you want to share about anybody that's won races? I didn't do any of that tonight because I just
not really winners. I haven't really followed much either. My last couple weeks is hectic getting ready for Oklahoma. But today, Pigpen Motorsports race, Charlotte. Yeah, we've had her on the show.
Mm-hmm.
She struck. I was watching her live on the TV that they had, the TV station they had there, whatever. I was watching her live and she was struggling. So I told her dad what she needed to do, and he had her call me. And that was after her second heat race. And he called me and she talked to me for about 10 minutes, and I explained to her what I thought she needed to do. And she started dead last, which was like 8th place, and got 2nd place. Like she was battling for the lead. So
Awesome.
she got last in both heat races and proved from me talking to her and her dad talking to her, when a dad tells you one thing, you're not going to listen to it. But if another, so
Yeah.
I think I helped her. I feel like I helped her, and she was super happy when she got out. So
Yeah.
That's good. That's really
and we didn't race, so I don't have no updates. Adriana was sick
Yeah.
on Friday,
Yeah.
dropped us out of the points. We were had a really good chance, but we can't miss any more race. We couldn't miss any more races, and
Yeah.
so that
So
sucks.
that's
So
tough.
we're not stuck at one track anymore. Again, we can travel.
Right.
That's
So
good.
Right. Which is better too.
Yeah.
So Kaylee Elizabeth, we know her. She said,
Yep.
no wins for us yet this year. We are struggling. Tough to go from track championship and points champ to this, but Kenna is determined and keeps chasing. It's coming. And so, there you go. That's a prime example of you don't give up. You have a bad week.
Yeah. Stay positive.
Absolutely.
And come back stronger and better.
Yeah.
it's just going to make the victories that much sweeter.
Yes. The hard work it pays off. So.
It does. Yep. It does for sure. So
it teaches you lessons too. You can't win every race. It's a very good lesson to learn for a younger kid, especially McKenna. She's a good young lady, a good driver. So
yeah,
she'll get there. She's just right now. God's given her a learning curve. So
yeah, for sure. And it is hard. She was very successful, and now she's struggling. And so, that's a life lesson.
Yeah.
We have highs on the mountains and lows in the valleys, and so that's just how that's how life is, and that's definitely how racing is. Mm-hmm. She says it will. She's feeling defeated, but keeps putting herself out there. Good. Thanks all. So maybe she needs to have a conversation with Uncle Brett. Yeah. And get some encouragement from somebody other than mom and dad. So
I would gladly, if McKenna wants to talk to me, just have her give me a shout. Like, you guys can message me on Facebook and get my number. I will talk to anybody that wants help with anything. So,
and you know what? Brett is one of the most positive people. So like when he says he called and talked to Charlotte, she knows who he is, and he's such an encourager when he talks to them. He's not like, oh, you shouldn't have been doing that. He's, oh, here's what I think would help. And so that's why, I know that he's busy, but he's never too busy to talk to somebody and encourage them about their racing. And so, that's one of the things that we do here is we support those gals, whether they win, lose, or whatever, don't we, Brett?
For sure, 100%. And it's not just racing. If anybody ever needs to talk to me day or night, I don't care what time it is. I've had people call me at 3 a.m. to talk them out of some bad stuff. So I'm always here for people.
Right. So he'd be a good landmark recovery. We need to get him a t-shirt. So Kaylee said they'll get in touch with you, Brett. So there you go. Yeah. So nothing else that I have for Maddie. I'm just, when it's your granddaughter, sometimes you're like, she probably doesn't want to do this with me, and so I was a little hesitant about asking her. And then she had a couple car issues, so she really hadn't raced a lot. And I wanted to have a chance to have her on after she raced, but then she did so well. She had a second and a third. And I just thought, you know what, I need to get her on here. So thank you, for putting up with Mama tonight.
It's been it's been a pretty it's a very good show. Like we've accomplished a lot.
Yeah, we did. So all right, well, we've got some good guests coming up, and so the magazine, I am late with it because my computer had an issue. And I had a lot of it done, and I lost it. And so I'm starting over. So we're going to say the last comment, Brad and Peggy Van Avery. We've always been there helping Maddie, been racing over 40 years, and always give her tips. Yeah. I know, and think she's going to be a big factor soon. Well, that's a nice comment. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for
sharing that. So
you just got noticed. Like you got a pretty big sponsor, and that's the first step. You got big things coming. Like you're getting noticed a lot more. Like,
hey, I do the best I can. I do talk about her almost every week.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing that that we usually say at the show is, you're part of our family, and
Yeah.
but you're already part of the family. So,
Yeah.
but like now that I have met you and talked to you and
Yeah.
not in person, but it feels like in person.
Yeah.
Now I feel like even more that you're part of my family now.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank you. Yeah, you too.
So when we first started this podcast, we have a lot of people listening that haven't listened before. At the end of one of the first ones, Brett said to the gal, we're a family. He and I are a race family. We're not related, but we feel like we are. And he said to the gal, the women in the Women's Motorsports Network are a family. And now that we've had you on the show, you're part of our family. So then he always says, welcome to the family. So
yeah.
Maddie was blood related to the family, but now
Yes.
she's also race related
Yeah.
too. So
you have been christened.
Yes.
you've been, yeah. So Michael, let's see, we still got comments. People love
Hey,
Maddie.
as long as it takes.
I know we don't have a time limit. Michael Knobloch, girl can drive for sure, especially when she's pissed.
Yeah.
LOL. That is the truth for sure. Adriana has that same issue.
Yeah.
She can. And then Karen says, you have a new fan. I just liked your page. God bless you. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen, for doing that. And appreciate that you were on. So I think we're going to say goodnight because guess what? The NASCAR race is on. I don't know who chose Sundays at 7 for this show. Wasn't me, but it's okay. And so I got to get out where the big TV is and see who's winning the race and finish watching the race. So everybody have a good week.
Yeah.
Good luck at the racetrack. Hopefully Maddie will be racing this weekend. Though the motors are getting tweaked and fixed and and then she's going to be flying around that track. And so watch her Facebook page and
check it out.
Yeah.
You guys will know
See what she's doing. And Brett, are you going to be racing anywhere this weekend?
Yeah,
Or you're going to Oklahoma?
Yep, we leave Wednesday. Well, tomorrow or Tuesday, I fly out to Denver for work. So I'll be in Denver Tuesday, and then Wednesday I get home and drive to Oklahoma, which is 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then we're racing on Thursday night's practice. Friday night is qualifying heat races, and Saturday if you make the show, which it's a tough field of cars, and especially in this in the open class. So if we make the show, that's what our goal is to make the A main on Saturday.
All right. Well, it'll be on there. It'll be on their Facebook page too. So watch and see what's happening. So, all right, everybody, have a good week. If we don't see you anywhere else, we'll see you at the racetrack.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right. Good night.
Night. See you guys.
Bye.
Yeah.